my channel, or for those who are new, welcome. My name is Teigan, and today I'm going to be doing another tag. This time it is the book name tag. Now, for those of you who don't know, most of you probably will, because you're here for booktube and a lot of booktubers do it. The book name tag is where you take a letter from your name, preferably all the letters in your name, and you find a book with that first letter. I had to cheat slightly. What I mean by cheating is that they're all still books. Some of them are manga. One of them is a manga that I watched as an anime and not as the manga. Sorry. But I did my best. And I tried to pick books that weren't super... I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say I picked like special books, because I've picked books that I've either read or have watched, which for that one specific one, which is actually the last letter of my name, the Y, because I found out I haven't really read any books that began with the letter Y. Anyway, we'll start from the beginning and not start at the end. So, for the first one with T, I picked not Twilight, as much as I was going to, and don't get me wrong, I read Twilight when I was younger, and I really enjoyed it, and I was proper Twihard, I think, yeah, I'm not even gonna pretend, I was a proper Twihard fan. I tried to be a bit different, because different and all that, and the one I picked was for T was Tokyo Ghoul. Firstly, I picked Eragon because that is the book I have read relatively recently. And with E, there was a couple that I just, again, it was hard to find. I don't know, I found it difficult. I found out a lot of books that I've read don't have any letters with my name in common, which is sad. And now I want to read more books that have my letters in. The next letter is I, and I've not cheated. I feel like a lot of these things. I haven't cheated, but this is a book that I am in the process of reading. It's called, I have it here. So it's imaginative writing, which is a non-fiction. It is to help me with writing my book and making me a better writer. That's the plan, anyway. For G, I've picked Game of Thrones, which is, I read it again this year, recently. And I don't know, would you guys want a full video on my thoughts of Game of Thrones? And I'm currently, I finished book 2 and I'm now taking a bit of a break because I have thoughts. I like certain elements and I don't like other elements. If you guys want to know, you know, let me know if you'd actually be wanting to watch a video solely based on kind of like the Game of Thrones books. For A, I picked a manga again called Alice in the Kingdom of Hearts. And I really like this. It's a twist on Alice in Wonderland, but I haven't read it for a long time, but I really like the art style. I think the main character is interesting, and I would give you more in depth about it, apart from the fact that I haven't read it in a really long time, but I just remembered I liked it. For N, I've picked a book that I've watched the movie for, but haven't read, but it is on my TBR, which is Northern Lights, by Philip Pullman. I said his name right. And yeah, I know I've watched The Golden Compass, which I believe is what the film is based off of, like this series, the His Dark Materials series. So it's on my TBR. I'll be reading through that soon. So I guess this is another cheating one. I feel like pretty much all of them are going to be cheating, apart from Game of Thrones. I'm a bad person. P is now one of my, if not my, I'm not sure. Again, I haven't read it in a long time, but it's one that I constantly go back to. Bad Habits that I mentioned in the other video. If you haven't watched it, check it out. It's me doing the booktube newbie book tag. So if you wanted to learn more about me, that's a way to do it. And here's some more about me, because you guys are clearly here for me and not for the books. Anyway, yeah, the I haven't actually said the book yet. It's a Poison Study by Maria V. Schneider. I've read the full series of Tales of Ixia. Don't know if I pronounce it right, but that's how I've always read it. And I really like the main character, Yelena, and the love interest I'm not going to mention because spoilers? I don't know if that counts as spoilers. Yeah, I love that book, and I will more than likely be doing either a review or a reread and then review of like the series as a whole, because I haven't read it for a couple of years. Although I have said that sorry if you can hear dogs barking. It's a nice weather outside, so I know the neighbours are doing some gardening and love their dog. Bit yappy. Not compared to Bella. Bella's my dog, by the way. I'll show you guys a picture if you want. Check out my Twitter. if you want to see a picture of my dog. Yeah, moving on, because I'm not good at this. E, I had to think about what my name was then. E, I cheated kind of. It's Eldest, which is the second book in the inheritance cycle, which I will be doing a video on after I finish book 4, which I've read. I enjoyed parts, didn't enjoy others. Good book, recommend it nevertheless. And yeah, if you wanted to see a better review, it'll be coming up, so subscribe if you wish to see that. Sneaky self-plug. Yeah. Now for my first star, because thankfully my last name has 2 R's. Thank you, Dad. He's in the house, that's why he can't hear me. I banished him to his room. He's rather upset about... Didn't banish, I asked him nicely, because he was making a lot of noise and you could hear it in the background. I'm a bit of a mean daughter. Yeah, so R is Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare, a classic that I read in school, and I might try and... I mean, it's a play, does it class as classic? I'm not sure. It was alright. I feel like a lot of these books I've just said, oh, I read it a while ago and I liked it back then. Maybe I should reread a lot of... I'm trying to read new books, so... Like I said, a lot of the books I've been reading recently haven't had my name letters in. Maybe this wasn't the best video idea to do, but... Content. I'm not struggling with content. I just... Like, I have a book haul planned. It's just I needed the books to arrive. So that will be happening soon. Either next video or the one after that. We'll see what happens. Second R, I have read as a child. I think it's a horror. Maybe it's not. It felt like a horror as a kid when I read it, called The Rag Witch. And this book, I remember, gave me a proper fear of dolls. So I feel like it is a horror. Maybe I shouldn't have read it as a child. I found it on my grandma's bookcase and I just read it because that's the thing. I mean, I say I was a kid, I was like 10. But I saw it, it looked spooky and I was like, ooh, I want to read a spooky book. And God, it gave me nightmares. Again, if people would want to hear my thoughts on The Rag Witch, if people have ever read it, I'd love to hear your thoughts about it down below. I vaguely remember what happens, but it has been a while, and I wouldn't mind reading it again. So if you, well, I probably am going to read it again, but if you guys want to hear what I thought of it, how it compared, am I still scared of it? Dolls still freak me out. I'm going to blame The Rag Witch for that. And finally, that last letter is Y, which is Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, I love Yu-Gi-Oh! I've only seen the first season, like the classic Yu-Gi-Oh! And I enjoy the card game, but the classic version of the card game, now with all the different monsters, no, it's too much now. But I really enjoyed it as a kid. And I know there's a manga about it, and I struggled, like I said, I struggled to find the letter Y so much. But that's kind of it for this video. Just a quick one. Although, looking at the time, it might be kind of the same length as my last one. We'll see how much I cut in editing, because I mumbled and chatted randomly a lot. But, you know, if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Tell me if you read any of these books that I've mentioned. I'd love to hear what your thoughts on them. Let me know what you want to see. Like I said, I have a few plans for videos, but if there's things that people specifically want to see, I'll try and move them up a bit more in my kind of plan in my head. I haven't really written. Maybe I should start writing, planning. I promise all my videos won't be tags, but I just think it's a good way to talk. I know last video someone mentioned my tea turtle t-shirt. I love them. They're designs that are just very cute. Like I say, you got like all these cute animals, and then just everything dies, which is depressing, but it's great because it's an adorable fashion. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I think I've already said that. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Teigan_Perry. I'm not very good at Twitter. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye guys.